So I'm supposed to buy what I like, but sometimes you have to buy what everyone else likes. Hey there, I have an unboxing of comic books today. I placed an order with Midtown a little while ago, and it is jam-packed with covers that I love, some stories I've missed out on, some stock replenishment, and a book or two that really just kind of took off in value, and found them through a wish list alert, and grabbed all of these books together through Midtown Comics. I am currently on a pretty good streak with them, getting orders in good shape. Books averaging around that 9.6 grade. A lot of 9.4s, but also a lot of 9.8s too, which again, I've talked about with Midtown. When they're good, they're great. So I'm going to continue pushing it with them, really placing big orders. And I've got a box here that we're going to look at that, let's see. You can see here the damage on the box itself. I am hoping that this is not a preview of the condition that's inside on the comic books themselves. I hope that the box and the that brown paper bag just held together, and the comics didn't shift around. But that's part of why I do this. It's why I share it, is because we want to look at the condition. Midtown's interesting. I get really mixed reviews on Midtown. Some folks are happy. They're buying books and looking to potentially flip them. There's other folks that maybe have written them off or continue to have bad luck. I'm kind of in the middle still. I had some bad luck in the past. I'm having good luck now. So I want to open this and start to look at the comics inside. And the thought process around this order is really about finding a consistent series of books that I like and trying to find them and search for them. I don't always use my spreadsheets to say, just buy these books. I'll be honest, some of the orders I don't show because they're boring. There's analysis that I'm doing where I'm being told you should buy this book because it has some sort of value in the market, but I don't like it. And then the consistent feedback and opinions that I get is just buy what you like. So this is kind of a mix. It's a mix of books that I do like. It's a mix of books that maybe I've sold recently on other platforms, and they're still available on Midtown, so I'm doing a little bit of a replenishment, and I'll kind of show you that book in particular. And then there's an interesting book in here that, again, fingers crossed always that you're getting in as high a grade as possible. But it was one of those, it's an incentive. I didn't pre-order it. I grabbed it from Midtown. I think it's too expensive. I don't know much about the character, but it has a lot of value. So again, it's kind of a mixture of a lot of things. So let's unbox this order from Midtown and start to take a look at the books. Okay, so here is that order from Midtown. As I mentioned, we're dealing with this over here. So I need to unbox this and take a look at the comics inside, but the box did not arrive in the best shape. Hopefully this is the extent of the damage, but there's only one way to find out, and that's to open the order and take a look. So here we go. Okay, so I want to pay close attention to this area of the order as we unbox. Now, see, this is the problem. Look at the inside. Now, all I did was open it. I didn't shift the box around. The corner, so again, this is the damaged side of the order. And look at the books. They're sitting right next to the box, right? All I did was open this flap. So this is part of the problem, is that there's such poor packing going on. I don't understand this. I've been ordering from Midtown for 3 years. This is exactly the way the orders come every single time. And I've sent them photos and I've contacted them, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I mean, there's nothing between the edge of the cardboard box and this paper bag and the comics inside. So I am fearing that this may be a damaged shipment. But let's look at the books. Again, the bubble wrap's great, but they're only protecting the top and the bottom, and this completely slid around. You can also see that because there were so many books on this side, the paper bag tore. So what the tearing tells me is that it was shifting and the corners were poking through the edge of the paper bag. All right, so here is that. This is the corner that kept hitting the side of the box. So that's what we're going to examine here. And I've got, I love all the books that I order. I said before, like, sometimes I feel like the spreadsheet is telling me what books to order and I don't really want them. I love all of it. I love getting valuable books that I know nothing about. And I love collecting my favorite characters and everything in between and artists and so forth. But, so I always feel kind of an attachment to any books that I order and add to my collection. So it's very disappointing. Now, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. Let's look and see if, in fact, the order is damaged before I go crazy. So let's see. It was this corner down here that looked like it took the brunt of the impact. And let's just grab a few and take a look at these. I think we're okay. Of course, I'm kind of spoiling what's inside, but yeah, I think it's going to be random. I think I lucked out. I think we're okay. So there's that. I'll keep taking these out, so you might see some of the covers, and that's okay. But I just want to inspect these carefully because I am concerned. I do see that, again, there's a little bit of damage to the bags, but I think we're okay. I think it's all right. Yeah, I don't see any impact damage, so I think it's all right. So, I think that was a close one. I think I got lucky there and avoided that a potentially very expensive order being completely damaged. So let me just rip through the books here and you can see what I got. And then if need be, we'll take out and inspect them a little further. And we'll have to because, of course, the first book is backwards in the bag and board. So let's see. So I keep buying these. The Sozomika Red Sonja. Unfortunately, this one has a giant crease right there in the middle. So that's unfortunate. But this was the incentive virgin variant. So I keep grabbing the Sozomika Red Sonja. I love this cover. I never did like a cover of the year, like my favorite cover of the year. For 2021, it was that Wonder Woman Black and Gold by Warren Lau. This one might be it for me for 2022. And this is, I think I got, two other, this is the black and white. Looking at this one, I'm not going to take everyone out. It's just if they're backwards, we may as well just kind of give them a quick inspection here. I'm not going to fully screen and grade these, but this looks to be a 9.8 candidate. Beautiful, gorgeous black and white cover. No stain. This is really tough, the Dynamite books, so I'm going to start to sweat here. This one looks like a 9.8 candidate, so I didn't have the black and white, or if I did, I forgot and wanted to get another one, but just stunning, absolutely stunning covers on that one. So very cool, very happy there. I also changed the lighting around a little bit. I got some complaint from one particular person who watches my videos. He said I looked washed out. So I'm trying a little bit of a different angle here. And this is the standard cover A, Sozomika cover. I have a couple of these and love it. Just gorgeous. That one seems to have the same problem as the Virgin right there. And I don't know if that's just a permanent defect or if that can be pressed. Worth a shot. So probably, those two are probably 9.4s. The black and white is probably a 9.8. All right, Sabretooth #1, grab this one. Great Ryan Brown cover. Love that. What I've noticed is, and maybe it's just me not being fully aware, but some of your, I would say, more typical store exclusive variant artists are doing more variants on traditional Marvel and DC, like even moving away from some of the Dynamite or independent variants. So artists like Ryan Brown, Jay Anacleto, those types of artists that you typically find at store exclusives. And when I saw that Ryan Brown's a fantastic artist, and I loved this cover when I saw it and wanted to grab Sabretooth #1. Okay, so this, speaking of variants, I've talked about these before. This is Sword #8. And this is kind of a series of variant covers by Russell Dodderman. And what he does is he takes a particular character and then constructs some sort of iteration of every, I think it's every outfit, uniform, or variant of the character, and kind of puts them all together. And you can tell that, like, by the facial expressions, that it's sort of a digital cloning mechanism, but there's something about it because the faces all look the same. They're just kind of staring at you and like, look, here's me in this costume. Remember me from this one? Did you like this? I mean, look at that great Storm cover from the 70s, and just amazing. The 90s Storm front and center. Her with the mohawk. Love Storm, probably in my top 5 or 10 characters. So what I did, as you'll see with some of these books, I kind of made a run on those. Here's another one. I'll just grab this one off the top. This is Avengers Forever #2. Of course, Avengers Forever 1 and 3 are the ones to get. I got #2 because of the Dodderman Black Widow. And again, just fun. It's just a fun cover, fun variant series. So I'm trying to grab as many of these as I can, and I got several here in this order. So we'll bounce around a little bit. This one's upside down. This is Star Wars High Republic 12. Almost fell out of the bag and board because it's upside down. So let me take it out, put it right side up, and then while it's open, we'll just take a look. This is an incentive variant. I believe it's a 1-in-25. I did not pay ratio for it. It came down in price, and I grabbed it. I'm all over Star Wars. I don't know if you can tell. Kind of a Star Wars nut. And the High Republic series has just wrapped with, spoilers, the Leveler appearing in High Republic 15. And that series has now come to a close. And then the next High Republic set of books are going to be even more prequels to the Star Wars lore. And I know that they're all in on Star Wars. They want to get their money's worth. And by they, I mean Disney. So I continue to grab any High Republic books. And those I'm starting to sell as well. So I think I'm not alone in terms of those heating up in the market. If they're not hot already, then they're warming up for sure. Now back to, and it's kind of a mix. I said it's all over the place. Here's Hellions #13, again by Russell Dodderman. And again, look at the fantastic iterations of Psylocke. I mean, just amazing. Super cool. I love this stuff. It's nostalgic. It's modern. It's digital. It's just great. I mean, if I could get all of those slabbed and put them together, I'd totally display them. Let's look at this one. This one's going to be tough because, well, I think I can take it out. So this one, thank goodness. So they mailed this in an additional sort of rigid top loader plasticky thing. And you can see that protected the corner there. This is the DC Festival of Heroes. And I think it's going to make me turn it around. Yeah. So I save these for when I ship orders out of expensive books. But again, I'm going to be careful. I imagine it's super glossy. But this is the first appearance of Monkey Prince and his first cover. And again, when I hold these, I kind of make a fist so I don't get actual fingerprints. This is super... It's double sized. It's almost like a little mini trade. So you can see up and down. And really, that's how I grade these, is if those corners There's no chipping. This one looks like a 9/8, honestly. And I'm trying to hold it as best I can without putting my fingers on it. But you can see there down in the corner and everything, as long as the spine and that looks super aligned and there's no chipping. In fact, I'm going to throw this in a fullback right now. And I'll talk about it as I do it. So Monkey Prince was one of those I saw available for pre-order. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. I didn't understand. I was kind of pulling back on DC anyway and just sticking to Batman. And I didn't order anything. And then the Monkey Prince books kind of came out and they were well received and got popular. And then that particular variant, the 1 in 25, was the one that everybody kind of jumped on because he ended up getting his own series and people were grabbing the number ones. But then out of the Festival of Heroes books that came out where he appeared, this was the one that everybody jumped on. So I'm just giving it one more once over to make sure there's nothing. This looks pristine. Looks absolutely pristine. So that's awesome. I'm just giving the back a little, well, and then as soon as I say it, there's some whitening right there on the top corner and a little bit on the back cover. I don't think that would prevent it from getting a 9/8. Like, I don't think that's enough for a 9/6, but yeah, I got to get this. I have to stop holding this one because of the gloss. And I'll get that in the fullback here. So that's great. This was the one that I was worried about as far as the damage in transit, but thankfully Midtown shipped it in that top loader and kind of wrapped it. So now I've rewrapped it here with the fullback, super strong, and I'll go through the what I paid for these two, and kind of where the value is. But that one, this was the big book in the order. It was the one I splurged on. I go back and forth because had I been able to pre-order that from like TFAW with that little bit of a discount, I would have got it for much less. But then the argument is, let's wait and see which ratios take off. And then, I hate to say it, but even if you're paying triple ratio, which I understand is a lot, but if you're pre-ordering 10 1 in 25s at $17, $18, $20 a piece, and maybe one of them hit, you've obviously paid more than triple ratio for the one that did hit. So that's the argument is, and people say, don't pay crazy eBay prices. And what that means, what they're saying is, don't pay double and triple ratio because they want the prices to kind of come back down to earth so they can buy them. But my thing is, if the book has heated up and you want it, you obviously have to pay for it, but you don't have a crystal ball. I don't. And so when it's better to do that in the long run. Kind of, I don't want to say I overpaid for this, but I mean, again, not to tease the order analysis here, but I basically paid $50. I paid double ratio. But it's at quadruple ratio right now, or even higher. And we'll look at the numbers here in more details. But that's kind of what I'm struggling with is when you're buying multiple incentives and they're all like crashing back to $10-12, then you end up losing money. You may as well just wait, take a look, and then it becomes a matter of supply, right? Because the demand is there, and then it's supply, and then you have to be savvy enough to find the books and using things like wish list alerts and on and on. Okay, so let's keep going. Here's another of the Dodderman Storm sword number 8s I wanted to grab too, because I love that one. This one, again, appreciate it. Thank you, Midtown, for sending this book in that rigid holder. It is upside down. I'm not going to take this one out, but this is the Emma Frost. And this one, so the Storm and the Black Widow one that I showed, those were open order. This was an incentive to Inferno number 3. And again, it's part of me thinks it's a little lazy to just reuse the same face, but then there's part of me that loves it. Like, there's just something mesmerizing about staring at all the the White Queen Emma Frost iterations. Just I love it. So that's why I got him. So again, buying books that maybe kind of like the Monkey Prince I wasn't into. I didn't get into the what's his face, gaslighting. I'm not sure, but anyway, I missed out on him. He's not even on the cover of this one. This is Strange Academy 15. It was as close as I could get. Honestly, I did get a wish list alert for cover A, and by the time I went to check out, it was removed from my cart and it was gone. So that's where that sort of FOMO kicks in, and like, buy it now, it'll never be this price again. It really messes with you because I totally had cover A with him on the cover and it didn't work out. I didn't get him. So next best thing, maybe first appearance in that alternate cover, and this is the Todd Knock variant. All right. Miles Morales number 20. My recommendation for Miles is grab everything Miles. It's just a matter of time. I believe 5 years from now, Miles Morales will be everybody's Spider-Man. I almost said Superman. That would be weird. He's going to be everybody's Spider-Man. Games, movies, you name it. I believe the Peter Parker era will transition out and Miles will be our Spider-Man. So I love to grab everything. I grabbed this again. I sold this book and kind of freaked out because I think I sold a 9.8 raw. And I just scrambled and was like, I want to replenish my stock. So I grabbed it. But I always feel like Miles is a great investment. Some of his back issues, particularly like issue number 2, issue number 13, the first Billy Morales, all of that stuff's heating up because, again, that everything's going to kind of center around Miles going forward. And then I'll skip to this one. I just grabbed 2 copies. So I sold 1 and I bought 2, and the amount that I got for the one that I sold was more than the cost of these 2. So just trying to be smart there. This one I've shown before, Darth Vader number 20. This is the cover A, and no surprise, the second print with the silver Beskar border is now basically about the same as the first print. So I just noticed a little bit of a chip there. So this may not be a 9.8, but I'm so confused still on the late printings. Sometimes the late printings pop, sometimes they don't. And it's just weird to me that you knew that the Beskar border was coming. It was probably ordered, I don't know, I'd have to look at the numbers, but my gut is telling me it was ordered more heavily than this one, even though this one, or maybe the same, and maybe that's why the prices are the same, because they ordered about the same amount. But everyone knew that that second print was coming, and still it's now triple cover. This one I keep grabbing for some reason. It's gorgeous Alex Ross art. Excuse me. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 15. This is with Mary Jane as the Iron Spider. Alex Ross. I'm just grabbing these at cover. This is my 3rd or 4th copy of this one, and it has pretty good value raw. So it might be time to look and send a 9.8 in to get it slabbed and sell the slab. It's weird. You notice this one, maybe they rebagged it, I don't know, but there's a bunch of stickers on here. It says VF, and then they relabeled it NM, so I'll kind of be the judge of that. And in fact, I'm going to judge it right now. This is one that actually got really close to that corner ding. So let's see if, in fact, it is damaged. And yeah, it did. So this is one that probably was impacted in shipment. Right there. It's very subtle. Could be pressed, sure, yeah, but I don't think it's not a VF, but just has some slight damage that could probably push it into a 9.4 or 9.2. So it's possible that some of these just kind of, I don't know. I'd have to inspect each one to see if there's just a subtle piece of damage. Batman 89, this is the 3rd print. I got these at cover as well. Punchline was a character that I spec'd on pretty hard, so I have quite a big investment in Punchline. I think it's just a character that DC is going to continue to return to. May not ever be as popular as Harley, but we're kind of stuck with Punchline, for better or worse. So this is simply it's cover A, but it's with minimal trade. So Batman '89 was one of the first books that I got into when I got back into comics in this iteration, and I do apologize for the glare here. And so I always have Batman '89, '92, Hell Arisen 3. I always have that on my radar. I'm probably too heavily invested and should kind of diversify away from Punchline, but I can't help myself. It's sort of like sometimes you buy the books that you like, and sometimes you buy the books that you know. Just like this one, Spider-Man #1 and #2. This is #2, and these are just a cover, just sitting there at Midtown, and I grabbed these, slabbed in a 9.8. I think it's over $100, and so I love to grab these. Again, the comics are basically telling you where all of this is headed, and you can see here. I love the shattered glass covers, puzzle piece covers, and stuff. The transition from Peter to Miles is coming. It's everything's being set up. We may even see it in Doctor Strange 2. So it's coming. So I'm trying to prep, and I got two because again they were like 10% off cover. And then the last book, again continuing kind of the trend of Miles. This is Spider-Man Volume 2, #2. And I grabbed 3 of these. And the reason that I did is I saw that the What If Miles Morales series was starting up, and issue #1 features him. What if Miles was Captain America? And I figured instead of buying all of the What If variants, and I'm sure that they're extremely popular, I would just go back and grab this book where he has Captain America's shield raised up. So is this technically the first Miles as Cap? No, but I just grabbed these anyways. Again, I feel like in a worst case, if this was a bad idea on my part, just a bad decision to grab these, I got them at cover, and it's Miles, and I just feel like you can't go wrong with anything Miles these days, so I wanted to go ahead and grab that. So that's the stack. Let's do a quick look at the order analysis, see what I paid, and see kind of where these books are, and look at most of these I think are just a fair market value comparison, but some of them may have some slab values that we can look at. So let's take a look at the order details. All right, let's get into this. This is my order breakdown from Midtown Comics. I placed the order on February 9th, and the total order cost was $271.07. There was a $23.51 charge for tax, and with the total cost of the order being what it is, I got free shipping. Yay. So, here are all the individual books with that $23.51 cost factored in and distributed across each book. Again, just to kind of keep my numbers correct, down here under column Z, you'll see that the 271.07 lines up. And in column U, I have the fair market value from cover price right here, so we can see what the raw book values are. And then I compare those raw book values to my cost here in column A that I title Raw Profit. And we'll kind of go through some of the winners and losers here. In total, I have added an additional $144.51 of value to my comic book collection. So it was a very expensive order, but I think I did it for a good reason, because I was able to add an additional $144.51. So again, that means I'm getting my money back. And then in addition to that, after the total cost of all the books, including tax, that's where the profit comes into play. So let's look at some of the winners and losers from a raw perspective. Strange Academy 15 down about $4. Losing $1 on the Star Wars Darth Vader 20, again paying almost $16 for that new release triple cover. But a lot of $3 to $5 winners here. Spider-Man #2 up over $3 a piece. The Spider-Man Number 2, the Miles Morales holding Captain America's shield, has a raw value of about $11. So a total cost of $5.50. I was paying half the fair market value on that one. Overpaid a little bit on Sabretooth by $1. I just like the cover. Same thing with Sword 8. So this is where the whole conversation, for me, it's in my head. The books I buy, what I like, I have to ignore the fair market value. I'm buying those Dodderman covers. I like the Ryan Brown Sabretooth. So it's like, do I like the wrong things because it doesn't have the value, or does it just something that brings you pleasure and enjoyment, and you liking that, is that good enough? Again, it's the debate that I have. So an order like this is a good representation of me satisfying both sides, things that I like and then things that other people like. I do like the Red Sonja cover. As you can tell, I'm buying quite a few of these, and the Virgin cover that I feel like is a 9.8 candidate. It cost me about $37, and I doubled my money there. Raw, it is selling for about $72 according to cover price. The line art one, not a huge jump, about a $19 purchase and $5.64 value. The cover A is starting to struggle a little bit, down $1.48 from my cost. Let's continue on. Miles Morales 20, again, that was like a stock replenishment thing because I liked the book and then I didn't have it after I sold it and I wanted to replenish it. Lost almost $2 in that one. The Inferno Incentive is interesting, a $7.77 gain on that one. So worth it for me. Love the cover, love the value. Glad that it's above what I paid there. Hellions 13, kind of the same thing, but that was an open order cover, up $2. So this is the big one, this Festival of Heroes here that I'm highlighting. That was what really put the order over the top in terms of what I had to spend to acquire the book. That, I think, currently is still available at Midtown for about $90, somewhere around $90 to $100. I got that book while it was on sale. They had like a high ratio incentive sale, and I picked it up for $56.23. And it is currently valued by cover price raw at $127. So that is a $70.77 value add to my collection, and that's really carrying the order from a cost and value perspective. Batman 89, not a big winner there at $1.62. Lost a little bit on that Avengers Forever. And then the two Amazing Spider-Man number 15, I still think is good value there, $4 value add for those two. All right, now some of these books have a little bit of age to them where we can actually simulate what the CGC value would be. So column V, where it says NA, it just means that I have not graded these books, so it's not showing a value yet. And then you'll see in column AB, CGC profit, they're all 0 because, again, I don't know what the grades are. So if we were just to apply a 9.4 across the board here and let the values start to kick in, we'll see which ones do have value. That great Mary Jane Alex Ross cover, $42 and a 9.4. The Festival of Heroes in a 9.4, $60. So it looks like, you get your money back, but again, with the CGC grading fees and everything, that would be a loss of $28. So not a ton of value here in the 9.4 space. On average, Midtown is somewhere between a 9.4 and a 9.6. My more recent orders are closer to 9.6. So let's see kind of at the high end, what is my ceiling? Well, in a 9.4, let's see, so if I sent all the books that had CGC values in, I would lose $116. That's why I say be careful about just taking your books and just looking at them going, yeah, these look good, I'll send them off to CGC, because you could end up losing money on these if they come back at 9.4. However, if they come back at 9.8, let's see what the top half of the equation looks like. So here we have some 9.8s kicking in and an $896.77 value add if the books came back as a 9.8. The books that are zero, it doesn't mean that they're not valuable. It just means they're either too recently released or just there are no reported sales. But let's look at some of the bigger books here. Spider-Man #2. That is the second issue, not the first issue. This is just issue 2. Has a CGC value of $175. That's why I pick it up at cover. I love finding those books that are right around cover price, but they have a sneaky high CGC value. So there's that one. The Spider-Man 2 with him holding the shield, $75 in a 9.8. Not too bad there. Again, that's cover price that I paid. Let's see. Inferno, I think there was one reported sale on that for $250. So if that pops in a 9.8, that's a great gain. Same thing for the Festival of Heroes, $280 in a 9.8. I put 9.8 on that book when I took it out of the couple of bags that it came in, the top loader. I looked at the corners on the spine, and really that's where you're going to get dinged by CGC, the top and bottom corner on that square bound. So those looked super clean. The black and white looked great. A little bit at the back top, but I don't think that that's enough to knock it to a 9.6. So a lot of potential there. And let's finish the Batman 89 third print. Again, it's kind of a get your money back situation there if those are 9.8s. And then not much value in those ASM 15s, or not much of a value bump from the 9.4 to a 9.8. So all in all, I'm very excited about that order and kind of the outcome there. Again, that DC Festival of Heroes, that's an example of a book that I didn't want to buy, but told myself other people like it, so go ahead and take a chance on it. So here's what I'll say about buy what you like versus buy what other people like. Buying what other people like that you may not like forces you to stay informed, right? Look at what books the influencers, the market pushers, the value, the flippers, look at what they're doing, even if you disagree with it, because you can ride that wave, right? Ride it to a potential profit if you want to sell a book, or just feel good about having a valuable book in your collection. Like when the influencers are out there and they're bragging, you can just feel good that maybe you have a copy or two in your collection. Obviously, buying what you like, if you're not being smart, or maybe you're buying emotionally, those Dodderman covers, some are great in terms of value, some are average or low in terms of value. Obviously, if you buy what you like, you're going to be happy with it. It's going to be a good read. You're going to be happy to potentially display it. So, in that sense, the money that you spend on something that you like, whether it's a comic book or an activity, you're getting enjoyment out of it. So, you can't really put a price on something like that because you're enjoying it. What I try and do is I ride the middle, where I try not to go too extreme, although I would say that DC Festival book, that's an example of me pretty much going extreme. Again, I had no interest in the book, but I saw the opportunity there to get in on that book if it were to take off. Here's the last little bit for me personally. If I buy and invest in books that other people like, right? It doesn't necessarily mean I don't like it, but I don't like it as much as the things I do like. If I am investing in that space, I am less likely to have an emotional attachment to the book. As a collector, one of the hardest things for me to do is to let go of a book. Like when I sold that Spider-Man 20, I was like, great, I made a sale. But I immediately was like, did I do something wrong? Did I price the value too low? I started to have immediate seller's remorse when I really didn't need to do that. And then I felt like I had to find the book and replenish. That's going to hurt me in the long run because I don't have unlimited storage space. So if I'm grabbing books that I may not have a lot of interest in, and it does take off in value, it might be a way for me to recuperate some of these costs because I don't have an emotional attachment. The emotional attachment comes in where you feel like you got a good deal, or maybe a book popped in a 9.8 that you weren't expecting, or again, just the satisfaction of riding the market change or increase and you're like, you just feel a sense of satisfaction, like you got one right. But if you can dismiss a little bit of that, then you're more likely to be able to sell a book, get some of this money back, and start to have the hobby pay for itself. So think about that too when you're buying books and you're looking at, maybe buying a dozen books from Midtown. Sprinkle in one or two that you know would possibly make a good investment, and see if you can flip it, see if you can grade it and invest in it further to help get some money back. And you're not as emotionally attached to those books, and you can certainly let them go a little bit easier. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate you watching. Happy collecting, and see you next time.